All right, guys. Well, we got another nice little one for us today, and broken off an ear off a front end loader. This is a picture they sent me. It's kind of funny when I get these calls. I don't normally get the calls to do these small bucket shanks anymore, or any of the little repairs on those types of buckets. But they normally just call me for the bigger stuff, which is kind of funny. But you know, it's cool. At least I get known for something. But anyway, we're out here in the middle of nowhere. And actually, the road, one of the main roads that come out here, we're so far out in the woods, the road was named Coon Neck. Can you imagine that? So we're way out here. But anyway, so this is our project. What it looks like, obviously this goes onto a front end loader way in the distance. Let me see if I can zoom in. No, I can't zoom in. But this was broken a very long time. This shows here that hadn't been cracked for a while. The only thing really holding it on was this bottom piece right down here. So, as you can tell right there. So it held till it didn't. And so our goal is to just put it all back together. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a bevel here, 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 and here, and same thing with this here, and get it all glued back together. Now this hole is a little bit sloppy already from a lot of use, so there's some forgiveness on my end, which is great, because there's always a little bit of warping or movement that can happen. So we'll just have to be cautious to make sure that we get the right spacing, and just as long as the pin slides in and out, right, we're good, because it's already wore out. So one of the first things I want to do is go ahead and start beveling this and this piece, and so let's do that with this guy right here. All right, so we installed the pin here a little bit, just kind of get an idea. So you got a little bit of play. So it fits together pretty good. This threaded part obviously got wallered out, but what we're going to try and do is in this section right here, we're going to try and see if we can bevel that point right there, and then possibly this point right there and that point right there. And so we'll follow that line all the way across the top here. Same thing here. We'll look around this side. This side is pretty simple. And then you put a bevel, something like that. Now you don't want to get too crazy beveling, because then you'll be sitting here welding for hours unnecessarily, when you can get to the root of it easy enough. So this at least gives me a little bit of a game plan as to how much to start cutting out. Some of these here on the bottom are going to be a little tricky, so a majority of the bevel may actually come from this piece on the top instead of this piece here, because we have to get around this nub where this here is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a nut. We're going to inset it in here, so we're going to most likely gouge around here to inset that nut, and then we'll just weld it around the perimeter, because those threads are hosed, and that'll help us in the sense that we can weld underneath it a little bit better. You'll see as I progress, but this gives us an idea of how much we can start trimming. This side I'm not going to trim hardly anything at all. It's just mostly going to be this right here. So let's start separating that up and beveling. the tricky part. Yep. Okay. Okay, so you look here, you can see where I kind of got the center pointer here, but it looks like I may have to go a little deeper towards this backside. And same thing over here. I didn't quite get the angle that I was looking for, so it's I'll have to run it again, but that's okay. It's better to creep up on it than to pass it up. Okay, let me cut that a little more. Okay. This guy. Yo! Okay, come on this way. So we can see here, that's the angle I need to cut all the way across that way, and hopefully I get to tying the both together. If not, we just keep trimming a little bit here and there. Glasses. Bevel it. I'll point it down just a little more. That's gonna be kind of nasty. Actually, let me turn it back around. I think this guy needs. Let's see. Hey, that's hot. Okay. Okay. Yeah, of course. Okay, let's go ahead and move over to this side here and get this beveled a little bit. Let's look on this side, see how much I need. Okay, to about there. So somewhere in that range. Look about right. Yep. They're slowly trying to sneak up on it. Okay, I can point it down some more. Pretty close. Let me try and clean this up. This is not going to be fun right here. This actually be really challenging. This is the specks of the cast that broke. So something like that. Close. Okay, let's try that. Now this side is a little more jagged because I was purposely moving the torch side to side, but it should be okay. Let's look over here. I can't tell how much. I need some more. You look at it this way. Ouch, that's hot. Okay, now I need to bevel this guy. Okay, we'll bevel that guy. You're looking good. Okay, looking at it here, it looks like I need to add or do a little bit more of a bevel, which looks like I'll need to do it from this side here to get rid of that little jagged edge. And so we'll go from this side and cut down that way. Cool. It's looking good. Let's get it set up to put the pin back on there and see how much more trimming we need. All right, so we've kind of installed this back in this position. We're getting really close. It looks like I can afford to cut a little more. Where is it? Right here. So I will cut from that way this way actually, and it'll be kind of a double bevel. But things are looking all right. This side here needs a little bit, like, and I'm pointing you guys in the wrong direction. This needs a little bit of fixing right here, right in that area. I might be able to bevel this a little bit more this way. I don't quite know yet. This is really jagged, but we'll clean all that with the grinder, so this shouldn't be too bad. Looks like we have enough bevel here. I'm also going to be back gouging since I'm going to install that nut in this area. I can't cut that with a torch, you know, it'll just be a bevel, so I'll just gouge in there around in here to where that nut will sit in there, and then we'll just weld around the perimeter of the nut and it should be fine. and here we'll get close to 100% as possible. That's the side that we really didn't cut at all, so there's gonna be a lot of buildup in that area. Of course, we'll clean out all the graininess out of it, but it looks really good. So let's keep going. Uh-oh, boss is coming. There he is. All right, let's go. Yeah, looks like I may need to bevel that a little more because I don't like that. But let's see what it does first before I cut too much off of it. Which is the one I need to modify? This guy. Okay. Okay. Burning plastic or something. I cut way too much on here. Okay, well, that stinks. All right. Well, I think that's looking good. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Got a, where's it at? I can't see. Got a gap in there for 100% penetration. I definitely got a gap over here. I cut way too much, but that's all right. And all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and tack these corners here. Tack these corners here and flex this up and down just a little bit so that that pin sits free. And then we'll put a piece of flat bar from here to here to keep it from moving in either direction. Oh, actually, sorry, we need to grind that first, all that edging of the cast first. But that's what we're gonna do next, and that way we can start welding on it. I'll do a little bit of weld here. I'll turn this thing over, weld the other side. It's just gonna be a back and forth kind of thing, but it's the only way to do it. Either that, or maybe I'll set it up on its back and do both vertical welds as it's standing up. Maybe I'll grab it from the crane over there, and I don't know, we'll see. So there's no rules to it, so we'll just do it as we do it. And again, as I mentioned before, this is how I'm doing it, not how to do it. So let's get her done. Like it?
Seems pretty alright.
Cool. All right, so we got most of that cleaned up. It'll work out fine. Ground up the bevels a little bit and clean them a little mill scale off of it and stuff, or the slag. So we're gonna go ahead and put it on there. It's still warm. Kind of in that general area. So we'll have to watch it as we tech it, but it looks like we are in good shape. We've got the piece here. It's gonna go right in there. So let's get to teching it. Okay, so here's the first pass. Root pass came out pretty good. Nice and smooth, which is nice. I will be back gouging the inside. You can see some spots there that it came through, which is good. So I think I'm gonna run one more pass and then we'll flip this guy over and start gouging the inside. Actually, we'll gouge some clearance for that first, then we'll flip it over. But this is looking good. So somewhere around there, and gouge all that out. And I put that second pass, so it looked pretty good. Yeah, this guy over here looks good too. Okay, let me gouge that out so that this is flush. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Cut out a little much, but hey, it doesn't hurt anything. So that'll be good there. A little bit of gouging there, just on the end. Okay, now we're gonna turn this guy over and gouge under there, and then start putting probably a little more passes, maybe about 3 passes under there on the bottom side. Then I'll come back and fill this top up just to kind of not create too much tension in either direction. So let's get that flipped over. Okay, we got this elevated, and you can see some of the root pass right there, not so much there. Some of that in this area is where the bolt goes through, so I'm not going to concern myself with gouging too deeply in there, because I don't want to get to where the bolt doesn't pass through that. So that may stay a little shallow, but further down here I do need to open it up right in this area right here. That way I can reach in there and on the top right here, right in that area, just a little bit. So as I mentioned, I kind of gouged it there, kind of goofed up, but it'll be fine. All right, let's see about opening that up. All right, so I got to the base of the crack there. There's no more visible crack. It's just weld from the opposite side. There's the area where I told you I was going to avoid, and then I was able to get way down there, and I'll be able to weld it from this side here. Still not pretty, but I'll be able to fill it in from there. So I'll probably start here, put a pass up that way, and then put a pass here this way, and slowly figure out how to cover that hole. That's a lot of digging that I did, but either way it'll work out. Just need to keep at it. just lay down. Okay, got a little bit of a weld down now already. Welded that nut in there, so a little bit more buildup. I don't know if you caught it, the last of the fast forwarding, the pin still fits in there, so that's good. I'm gonna let it cool just for a moment. I'm gonna get a bit of a drink, let it cool just a hair because it just feels getting a little too hot. And then we'll go from there. So keep at it. Slowly getting there. I already did all I'm going to do there. I need to run a couple laps, about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 passes there, and then go around that nut, and then we'll flip it back over and finish out the inside. Looking good. Still looking good. Okay, flip it over and almost done. Slow build up. I had to build up around that pocket where the bolt goes from the other side. Now I need to build this up here. All right, well, that's about as close as I'm gonna get it. I went ahead and filled up those gouge areas, and I shouldn't have done that, or created more problems than anything. But that's about as good as I'm gonna get. Let me flip it over so you can show you the other side. All right, guys, so although a lot of that was fast forwarded, you kind of get the gist. Here's what it looks like. About as good as I can get it. That side was where to go. It was a little tougher, but either way. And I did have to buff some spots. You can kind of see where it's still touching, but the pin still goes in there. And I'm gonna let the mechanic take that off. And you know, if he needs to buff it out a little bit more as well, that works. So this came out pretty slick. About as slick as I can get it, at least. So hope you guys dig it, and you know, we're gonna go drop it off over there somewhere right there. and head on home because it's hot. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.